Good morning everybody, my name is James Cook, welcome to my vlog. And today I want to talk about supercharger sharing, specifically sharing superchargers with non-Tesla EVs. But first I have to jump on the road because I got somewhere to be. Seriously, what's going on here? One more quick bit of news. I found the other camera. Well, I didn't find it, Tesla found it. It was in a loan vehicle that I had last week while they were fixing a mark on a wheel that they'd done when they changed the tyres last. So I've now got a camera I need to stick on eBay. Righty, now I'm on the way and I'm not running too late, hopefully. It's a bit of a busy day, so I'm gonna have to just sort of squeeze this vlog post around what I'm doing. Hopefully it's recording the sound just fine. It should be. I'm using a wireless mic. Yeah, so Tesla have opened 10 of their superchargers in the Netherlands up to non-Tesla EVs. Now, I believe that these non-Tesla EVs are expected to pay a bit of a premium for their access to the supercharger network, in that they need to also, make a contribution towards the sort of building and maintenance of the network, not just the power they use. Whereas I suppose with Tesla cars, you kind of have already made that contribution by having bought a car from Tesla, I guess. Also, Tesla need to make some adjustments to the actual infrastructure at these supercharger sites, because the original superchargers are designed very much with Teslas in mind. In other words, the cable is just exactly the right length to reach the point on a Tesla where you plug it in, and it won't reach anywhere else, which is obviously not ideal for all those other cars, the ones that charge at the front and things like that. Elon Musk has been talking about doing something like this, opening up the supercharger network to other cars, for a long time. Like, I remember him mentioning it 5 years ago, maybe even 6 years, maybe 7, a long time ago. But he always used to say that what would be required for him to do that is for other EV manufacturers to say, yes, we want to be part of the supercharger network, we're making a contribution to help, with its rollout and maintenance, and we'll sort of charge the cars, we'll handle all that charge. I mean, basically, they were looking for a partner in terms of an actual manufacturer of EVs that would partner with them. And instead, what they've done is just open it up to any CCS charging EV that wants to use them, which is great. Obviously, it does mean that sort of maintenance and installation cost does get pushed a little bit onto the actual end user, but I suppose ultimately that's the person who's going to be paying anyway. So the bigger question is, does the supercharger network actually have the capacity to support non-Tesla EVs? And there is a question mark there, actually, because certainly around the UK, a lot of the superchargers that I pull into these days, especially the more southern ones around London, they're often 80% full or more, which is, if you throw in some other EVs as well, I can quickly see how congestion could become a real problem at these supercharger points. So yeah, that is definitely something to watch. And Tesla are, this is just a trial to begin with. Tesla are monitoring supercharger usage at these 10 locations, and presumably they'll install more chargers if they need to, or not roll it out to every supercharger. I really don't know what the strategy is. I do think to some extent this has been prompted by, I think it's Germany actually, that is very keen on publicly installed chargers being available for use by any EV, which I think is a great thing. So it's good that this is happening, and I hope ultimately Tesla open up all their superchargers to whatever EV wants to use them, and then they can build a whole separate service out of that. Historically, it's been impossible to make money from quick chargers, which is why the only companies that have ever done well out of installing quick chargers are the kind of companies that are either using it as free advertisements like Ecotricity used to, or taking loads and loads of government money, which is not something that Tesla tends to do with its charging network, principally because in the past it's been just for Teslas, which puts off a lot of grant-giving bodies in various countries. Right, how are we doing for time? Oh yes, we're on top of it.
Average speed check.
Just about. Oh, brilliant, we got caught by the traffic lights. Drat it, I hate it when that happens. So far, at least, Tesla seems to have been really good at staying on top of the congestion at their supercharging sites. Most of the time, where I've seen a site that's become regularly too congested, extra charge points have been shoved in the ground reasonably quickly. To be honest, another reason why I think it's a good thing that they're opening up to other EVs slowly but surely is I have noticed that to some extent, quick charging has been a little bit of a land grab for Tesla. They've tried to get in on the sites they want in scale ahead of everybody else, which that makes perfect sense. And I think that's one of the weaknesses of the strategy of other EV manufacturers, going with startups and trying to form alliances to install quick chargers and things like that. The problem with it is if you don't get a shift on, it doesn't take long before some other company, Tesla, has bought up all the land or installed all the chargers, taken up all the available power for that site, and then it takes a lot longer and it's much more difficult to get your quick chargers installed. So there does need to be an element of share and share alike, I think, when it comes to EV quick charging. And ultimately, as Tesla said, this does support their broader mission of pushing EVs into firmly into the primary personal transport category. So yeah, I mean, it makes perfect sense for them. I also think over time they are going to be able to spin out their supercharging network as a separate entity, effectively, something that can stand on its own 2 feet and make money for itself and be very successful. And I'm reasonably confident that, at least in concept, that's what they're going to do. Whether they actually split it into a separate company or not, I don't know. I suppose in some ways supercharging might end up being the Starlink of Tesla, if you know what I mean, the sort of offshoot business that ends up growing into something that's larger than the original and extremely profitable and worth doing all in its own right. One thing's for sure, there's definitely going to be an ongoing need for reliable, available, working quick chargers for the multitude of EVs that are starting to appear on the roads, and it will definitely help drive adoption of EVs, in my opinion, because you're going to have reliability of en route quick charging is one of the things that puts me off about the idea of my mum having an EV. I think it would be great for her to have an EV, but if it means that every time she pulls into a quick charger, she doesn't know, is it going to work? Is she going to have to queue? And that's the kind of thing that makes it difficult to rely on. And if you can't rely on it, then, well, that's a big problem for, road trip type scenarios. Okay, my mum doesn't exactly do lots and lots of road trips, but she does do longer journeys. Sometimes she's driven up to Liverpool. We went up to the Lake District this summer. She goes down to Hastings fairly regularly. So these are long journeys, fairly long journeys. Certainly long enough that you want to have some level of comfort that you're not going to get stuck unable to charge your car for hours and hours halfway through. Because that's the thing, honestly, with EVs, I don't think people should have to make a sacrifice to drive an EV. I don't feel like it should be a sacrificing kind of thing. It's different. It has some drawbacks compared to petrol and diesel, and in my opinion, many more advantages. Right, just about to pull into Tesla fairly shortly, and then I will get my old camera back, hopefully, and then stick it on eBay and recover some money. Which is handy right before Christmas. Oh, thank God it turned up. That's really helpful. I've got to say, that is actually really, really great. I wish it had turned up before I bought the new one, but so what do you guys think? Anyway, I mean, are you Tesla drivers that watch my videos? Do you feel happy to share? Do you feel like it's a bit of a sort of, well, Tesla got there first, so it should just be for Teslas? I would have thought most people would think it was a good idea to share. I do think that, Tesla owners it's their money that's gone to build the Supercharger network. So at least to some degree, I feel like they ought to get a decent service out of it still. And hopefully this sharing with non-Tesla EVs thing is not going to impact the level of service that the good old Tesla drivers experience, but I guess we'll see. Presumably that's why Tesla's taking a slowly approach to doing this.
Hi. Please wait. It may take me a moment to answer.
Got it.
Alrighty, so now I'm back home, got everything done more or less for the day, just got a bit of admin to get on with, and that's about it really. So I'm going to go and get on with my eBaying, and I will see you all in the next episode of my vlog. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. If you have, remember to leave a like and share it, and subscribe if you haven't already. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you like. The links are in the descriptions. I want to say a big thank you to my Patreon supporters, of course, because you guys are awesome. And I will see you in the next episode of my vlog. Bye.